Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. My name is René Weimann, and it's fall. It is Friday, November 20th, and we got a guest today, Jeremy Lewis, straight out of Houston, Texas. Uh, he was a kid growing up, having a big dream of playing basketball as a pro. Years later, he's here in Germany playing First League, Telekom Baskets Bonn. Uh, he shared our story how it was playing basketball in Czech Republic, what is special about that country and their basketball, their First League, and his whole journey, how he got into pro basketball. Amazing story. So let's get into the interview.
The way that we played basketball this year, the way that we trained was extremely intense.
I mean, it's a win-win. You're improving your performance by enhancing your recovery when using PSR, and you're adding extra years onto your career.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the No Plan B podcast. As always, very overjoyed and beyond myself to be with my homeboy, René Weimann, out of H-Town. And speaking of H-Town, we got another guy out of H-Town, out of Houston, Texas, Jeremy Lewis, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, J. Lou? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Joe. I like the intro. Shout out Houston. Shout out you. Shout out René. What H-Town are you from, René?
It's Hanover, and we used to name it that way in some very special times here with UBC Hanover Tigers, and that was kind of the nickname this town got from basketball, H-Town, Hanover, like in central Germany.
All right, I know where it is. Welcome to the club, H-Town. That's what it is. I like it.
Oh, man, for sure. So let's get into it, man. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud of this guy. I've coached a lot of people, a lot of guys, youth, and I've been really blessed and had the opportunity to coach some American professional basketball players, and this guy's one of them. And man, I mean, when he played for me, I was overjoyed to have the honor to say I coached him because, everything I asked him to do, he did. He came out as a combo guard. In the beginning, he was just passing, but I had already saw in practice what he could do. And I knew that when he took people off the dribble, he was basically unstoppable. He's so quick and he has so much range with the J. And I pulled him to the side and I said, hey, man, I know you're trying to keep these guys involved, but right now I really need you to get me some buckets. And he just looked at me and said, hey, Coach Joe, say less, buddy. I'm going to take care of this. And, man, he went to work. And 40 points later, an MVP of the Pro Basketball Showcase later, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So I had to put that out there. So let's talk about how that journey all began, bro. When did it all start? Was it AAU or did you fall in love with it in elementary school? Where'd you really fall in love with basketball?
Oh, man. Fall in love with the game. As a kid, watching NBA, I used to collect basketball cards. That was in elementary school. And that's when my love for the game and just love for basketball, I would say where it started. Teacher asked us in third grade, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? The question that they ask everybody in elementary, and gave us a few minutes to think about it. And I'm scanning my Sean Kemp collection. I had a nice Sean Kemp collection. That was my favorite player. And nice. I said, man, I'm gonna be a basketball player. And that was it. That was decided right then. So I've always loved the game, and I just continue to grow. And that love just continued to grow. There's a lot that you can learn from basketball on the court, off the court. It's the love for the game started for me pretty early, and it's only grown.
Man, that's awesome, bro. That is awesome. So let's move forward. How was the high school experience? Did you enjoy playing high school ball?
I did playing high school basketball in Houston, Texas. I went to a straight Jesuit, and it's competitive. My senior year, we entered the UIL, which is we're playing with all the public schools. And high school basketball in Houston, you're going to find out real quick if you can hoop or not. There was a lot of guys in the city. So if you love the game, you're going to have plenty of competition daily. Every time you step on the court, there's somebody else there that's going to prove themselves.
Man, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. So let's keep it going. So how was the college experience? Did you enjoy that?
I did. You know, being a college athlete always comes with its perks when you're on campus.
Nice.
I transferred quite a few times to find my way. You know, there's a lot that goes into being a student athlete in the U.S. and trying to find my way in the right fit. But I was able to do that, and I graduated in Houston at University of St. Thomas, UST. We started that basketball program there, and it's just continued to build. I see it now, and I see what they've been able to accomplish. We got banners hanging in the gym, and you know, college it was good to me. It was good to me, but it was a lot of learning on and off the court about, you know, what it takes to be a good person, what it takes to be good at basketball. You know, you got to grow.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's beautiful. And now let's get to the meat of this interview right here. And I'm so happy about, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this with the pride. I'm just overjoyed right now because, you know, back in the days when I first came to Germany, rest in peace, Zell Price, my homie, man. He was playing in the first division. And so my first job, I came there and I had to practice with the first league team, and I played with the other squad in the Regional Liga, and I practiced with them every day, and I gave them buckets. There was, you know, only at that time, only 2 Americans were allowed on the team. And I tell you what, man, when I went to those first league practices, man, I gave everything I had. For me, every practice was like NBA Finals Game 7, and I dunked on a lot of people, and I just really, blood, sweat, and tears, man. And now, fast forward to now, the position that you're in, that, you know, you're in a beautiful situation where you're leading the young guys right there for the telecom basket bond.
Take my shirt out real quick.
Yeah, fat, bro, so fat. And now, you know, you're actually, you know, lacing them up and getting some squares out in that dome. And hey, man, I want to tell you, I'm just so proud of you, bro, because I've watched your journey and you've really been grinding hard. So let's talk about how the pro journey went, man, because I'm pretty sure you got a lot to say about that, my brother.
Of course. Well, before we go too far in that, I'm gonna backtrack because, you know, that was a quick fast forward through the love for the game, through high school, through college, you know. But I'm gonna give a shout out to you while we here, because me and you actually have a real relationship. Joe is somebody that's gonna pick up the phone when I got a question, I need to vent, something's going on over here, and you're somebody with experience who's always picked up the phone since the relationship started at that combine. And so big shout out to you and how you conduct yourself just, you know, on an everyday basis. Every time we get on the phone, to now, it's just always been real, and you've always been solid. So shout out to you right there on that.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
And through my journey, you know, one thing that definitely defined me, and here we are at the no plan B, is there is no plan B. I've always been that guy. Since I made this decision as a kid in elementary school, it was no plan B. I'm hard-headed this way. I said, I'm the kind of person, I'm going to go do something, and I'm going to find a way to do it. It may, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. My mom used to always say. And I was always the kind of person where I was, I guess, hard-headed in that sense, where if it didn't work, of course, you're going to go through frustrations, you're going to go through disappointments, but I never let that take my love for the game. I never let my dream die on account of situations with coaches or situations I may have put myself in, not handling them the right way. So there was no plan B. And my junior year of high school in Houston, Texas, here we are at Straight Jesuit, one of the top private schools in the state. And one moment in life that defined my grind and that defined how I pursued basketball comes from, you know, being in a preseason game before the season starts, let's say preseason fall. So the season's going to start here a little bit later, and we're getting a preseason game, and we had a half day off of school. Me, my best friend Christian, and Kenneth had a half day off, so we go to my house. We're regular day watching All About the Benjamins, having a good laugh, and then we go to the game. And at halftime, we get a speech from the coach. We're playing in Bel Air High School, and beginning of the third quarter, Kenneth passes out on the bench, and I'm dribbling the ball off the court, and they're saying, "Jeremy, call timeout, call timeout." I'm trying to shoot the ball. We just call timeout. What? I'm looking at the bench, and that was the last time that anybody saw Kenneth alive. Kenneth had a heart attack and died right there in front of us at the gym. It was tragic. It was, life-changing when you're 16 years old and your best friend, the person that you get confused with by all your peers, you get tired, like, man, I'm not Kenneth. Stop calling me Kenneth. This is your guy. And to go through that is something that I've carried with me as I continue to play, because basketball is it's a bond that we shared. It was a dream that we had, and for that to be our last moments to share together, it's something that has continued to push me on times when I didn't want to go. I didn't want to keep going. It wasn't working out. But so we was going to ball till we fall. If I'm still on 10 toes, hey, find a way, dig in,
right,
grind it out. So that pushed me going through college. Started at a Division III university, UT Dallas. We had some success as a team, but the individual success wasn't there for me, and which frustrated me, led me to look for a better situation. I walked on to a Division I university, Houston Baptist in Houston. Man, grinded it out. I was working. I was going to work, going to class, going to practice, going back to work, grinding it out, trying to find a way. I walked on. I made that team. And shout out to Coach Bernard who believed in me. But they had a lot of seniors on scholarship. And the head coach, Coach Cottrell, he was real with me. He said, "Look, I mean, you got it, but I'm committed over here already. So if you want to wait your turn," and that was hard for me. I wanted to play. My NCAA clock was ticking. So there's an NAIA school down the street in Houston, University of St. Thomas. Reached out to their head coach. And he's like, "Look, if we can get you, we would love to have you." And I was able to start that program, lead that program, and that was very satisfying to have a home, to have an alma mater, to have this community. And so after college, coming from an NAIA school and you want to play pro ball, you better be that 1 in 20 million. Right. No cap. Come on, Joe. You're gonna reach out to agents. You're gonna reach out to somebody when you come out. Even if you're playing good NAIA, we have Division I opponents, NCAA Division I opponents on the schedule. I got the film. I went out there and did my thing against these colleges, but at the same time, you want to play pro ball, you get a lot of missed calls on that one, and that's just being honest.
Sure. Yeah.
So
politics in there. That's right.
Going forward, I went to combine. I went to a combine in Las Vegas. You figure you can better invest in yourself and go put it out there, see what they say. And I was the point guard MVP of this combine, and that led to my first job in the Czech Republic, playing in that first league, and it was a good experience, a learning experience, figuring out how to be a European professional point guard. And not just somebody coming out here that's, cross half court, let me find a bucket. It's a little different.
Yeah, exactly.
So fast forward to after that season in the Czech Republic, feeling that, okay, here I got first league experience over here. I'm a little older, but I'm on now. I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to find a way. And opportunities didn't find me. I still had to go try to look for opportunities. And that's what brought me to the combine that you were coaching in Bonn with the Slammers camp. So when I got to there, I had already felt disappointment. I'd already been through quite a bit of grind already, but I'd already tasted success. So I was hungrier than ever.
Yeah.
Which led to the MVP of that combine. If you remember, I had to come back because I got the MVP of the combine the first time, and it didn't lead to a job right away. Representation
Right.
is very key in the professional basketball game.
For sure.
And that led to me coming back to the same combine. I said, you know what, if it don't work this time, I might have to I'm gonna go get me a regular job. I want to keep getting paid to play ball. I love the game, but how long can I keep putting life off and waiting for something? If it's meant to be, you know, let's see. And they say if you love something, you gotta be willing to let it go.
Right.
If it comes back to you, it's yours. If it doesn't, then it never was. My favorite rapper said that one, by the way.
Yeah. Preach, brother. Preach.
So I was at that point where I was like, look, either I'm gonna make something about it or this summer, or I'm gonna move on. I got a degree from a great university. I have a great business degree. The plan B is there.
Yeah.
But there's no plan B with me.
Right.
You know, I'm locked in on this. So I got the opportunity in Dusseldorf. Shout out to Coach Robert Shepard. one of the best coaches that I've had a privilege to learn from as a point guard. I mean, he taught me a lot in the short time that we were together. So awesome. That's a little prelude to my professional game, and my ability to be consistent and to perform has led me to continue to get jobs and to live out that dream of being paid to play basketball and to be able to support yourself and do for yourself all off of the game. And so, I mean, it's been great. I enjoy it, but I've had a lot of jobs before I got a basketball job. Basketball is satisfying when you put in that amount of work, when you grind for that long, and then when you get it,
right.
Hey, it's worth it.
Exactly. It's sweet as sugar, bro. Thanks for sharing that with us, man. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, he's being humble. This guy's a walking bucket. This guy can get 30 points in his sleep. Jump in there, René. Jump in there, buddy.
Yeah, I would love to ask one question, and it's about your time in Czech Republic. Because we used to have, or we have a lot of guys maybe listening here from the US who dream of being a professional basketball player, young kids, and probably at some time, someone of them gets the chance of going to Czechia and to play basketball there. And we never had a guest from there. We had people explaining us how it is in Ukraine, in Israel, in Switzerland, in Sweden, but you're the first one who played in Czech Republic. So what should be people prepared of? What's probably the difference, especially to Germany now? And how was that for you getting in there?
Oh, the biggest difference is, I'm going to say, is the language barrier culturally. If you want to compare Germany to the Czech Republic, it's going to be there's more of a social disconnect between your average Czech environment and then your German environment. So I would say the biggest difference between the two off of the court is that off the court life adjustment. Of course, as a professional player, a lot of things are provided for you. A lot of the resources are there for you, and there's going to be people there who can assist you to do a lot of things. So you're not there blind, but going over to the Czech Republic is going to be a little colder.
Especially in winter.
And, also in that league, there's a good chance that they might not do good business with you after a couple months. You might have to make some phone calls to some people and say, hey, we agreed to something, and I'm waiting on you. That's a reality.
Yeah, give me my money. I gave you guys 30 points. Where's my money at, guys?
I was fortunate to be with other veteran players who had experience with that club and in that league that were Americans. Shout out my guy Rich Fields and Chad Barnes. So it made it easier for me as a rookie to adapt because I could talk to them and listen to them.
By the way, what city have you been to?
I was in Kolín.
Okay.
Which is roughly like 60 kilometers from Prague. So we're on the way.
But not like more of a smaller town, yeah, right?
Very, very small town. I think roughly 60,000 people. Peaceful, nice. It's scenic. I mean, it was comfortable there. Living
Relaxed.
there was fine. Yeah, it was relaxed. It was
You were talking.
it wasn't hard to adjust, but it's you're not gonna be able to read anything, and you might not run into as many English understanding people as you would.
Is that true? Because sometimes people say in some of Eastern Europe countries, sometimes people are better in English than in Germany. So you would disagree on that from your experience?
I would disagree with that. I would
Okay.
say that in Germany, it's much easier when you're at a grocery store, when you're anywhere, they're gonna have a broader English vocabulary.
Hmm.
They are able to do something in the Czech, but my experience in the NRV in Germany, it's been much easier.
Yeah. And probably also what I heard is that they're sometimes not like when you're in Germany or in some other countries, they really want to help you. Then they see that even if they're not as good in English, they try to help you, try to be friendly. And in Eastern Europe, sometimes some of them might just like, yeah, just leave me alone.
I don't know. I would say
sometimes.
I'd say they were good people. There were good people around me. So I'll say I was fortunate in that area to have people in the restaurant in the sponsor restaurants who liked me and who I was able to get along with. But I mean, you don't have much time to do a lot as an athlete. You're going to the gym to eat, then you back home. So, but it is a difference. I would say being in West Germany is an easier off-court adjustment than being in the Czech. But I enjoyed the Czech Republic. Being close to Prague was a major benefit of playing in a small town. When you can escape to such a beautiful city like Prague, then on an off day you don't feel so isolated.
Nice. Well, let me ask you this: what advice? Well, I always ask all of our guests this question. What advice would you give to that young guy who's growing up in Houston right now, who fell in love with the game just like you did and is really dreaming about getting paid to play basketball? What advice would you give that young guy or girl?
Oh, a couple of them. I tell them to grind it out.
There it is, right there behind you.
I would say that it's you're gonna have to put in the work continually when you feel like nothing's happening. And that opportunity is not going to be guaranteed, but the responsibility on you is to be ready. And maybe you'll get a chance, and that's the best you can do. You need to prepare yourself. Try to be around a network of people who have the same goals in mind, and try to get the best representation that you can. And in the meantime, stay ready. Work on your game. Watch the European game. You can't just watch the NBA and come to Europe. It's different. So watch some EuroLeague games.
Right.
Go do your research and put in a lot of work. Being in shape is the first part. I would tell that young person to and not to stop. You'll get a few no's. You might get more no's. You just need that one yes.
Right.
So if you got to be willing to continue to work and if your time comes, make sure you're ready, because that's what it was all about, was getting a chance. There's a lot of guys that never even get a chance. So some of that stuff isn't in your hands, but you can control your attitude and you can control your effort.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Let me ask you this question. What's it like to be a leader of men? Because, in my playing days, I was on teams where a lot of the youngsters on the team really looked up to me. And, the other foreigner I played with, a guy was from France. He looked up to me. Like I had people that really looked up to me and counted on me. But I'm such an emotional dude, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So if I get pissed off, normally the way I should approach a young player is be like, hey, come on, buddy, let's go. Let's get back on D, instead of, saying something like, hey, man, what the bleep bleep are you doing? Get the ball to me, bro. Like, what are you doing? Why are you scared? I have to say I wasn't a good leader, but I can really vouch for you for the times when you played for me, man, that, you remember, I won't say any names, but you can remember when there was a couple people who were yapping, and I was like, listen, I'll put the ball in your hands then. If you think you can do what Lewis can do, I'll put the ball in your hands. And I put the ball in a couple of guys' hands, and they didn't produce. And then out of nowhere, the peer pressure from the other teammates made everyone put the ball in your hand and let you lead. So me being the horrible leader, how does it feel to be that guy who really is a leader of men, man? What's that like?
It's it's a responsibility that you have to take. I appreciate the compliment. I'll take that as a pretty high compliment. It's you got to work at being a leader, and you have to care more about the end goal than you can your emotions or why this is going that way. You're gonna have to really you got to step outside yourself and see it from the other person's point of view, and also from you have to balance a lot. So
yeah.
I mean, to be able to do it is something you got to take pride in, but it's something you're gonna have to work at, because you'll make mistakes, you'll read guys wrong, you'll say the wrong thing, and how do you respond? But
right.
you keeping the end goal in mind is always key. I've been fortunate to learn a lot from other people in my life, so I think that kind of keeps me balanced when I approach the game, and you have different personalities, to try to understand what's going on in that other person's head, where their ambitions are, in order to assert yourself, because you can't lose sight of the goal, right? We're trying to win the game, and we're trying to win the league. We're trying to win the championship. So that's the ultimate goal. So, it's easy to get caught up in your emotions. That's kind of the human thing. You got to understand that that's normal, but, what's more important? You want to be right, or you want to win?
Exactly.
This advice is great. I mean, because it's so universal. You can apply it. It doesn't have to be about basketball, even, to be honest. You can apply that to anything in life. And I coach a lot of different athletes from different sports, and I know some of those kids, they will not make it to professional level, but still, when they finish school or whatever sports, I tell them, look at your career. You reach your goals, and you can try to apply that to anything in life, and that's just great.
Absolutely. Definitely the same way.
Man, that's beautiful, dog. And so before we wrap it up, man, let me give a special shout out to your haters, to the agents, to the naysayers, to the non-believers who when I was vouching for you, when I kept vouching for you, and I kept telling people, hey man, this guy's a stud. He's not going anywhere, man. This dude can ball. He's built for this business, and he's really a pro, man. On and off the court, he can get the job done. And those haters and naysayers now have to admit that I was right, because you're part of a first division program right there in Bonn, Germany. I want to ask you, does that feel as good for you as it does for me?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I'm not done yet. So I still,
right.
I still have my head down. I'm still working. I'm still learning, and I'm still pursuing that end goal to get more minutes. Got a couple minutes in the preseason, and I'm not done. My body feels great. I want more. So yeah, it does feel great, and especially to look at the situation that the world is in. I just came from morning practice, hit the gym. We got in the guard work. I'm gonna go watch video, and then I'm gonna go back to the gym here in a few hours. We got practice again tonight. So I'm fortunate, and I appreciate the position that I'm in, and it just makes me keep working harder, because now it's in front of me. Now I have the jersey, I have the locker. I'm right here with you guys, and so the next step, prepare myself for the next step. I'll be ready. I can't control things, but I'll be ready, and that's all I can do as a basketball player.
Exactly.
Be ready when my time comes. So it feels good. I don't really care about the haters. I'll let time will tell. It's always told. So I'll just continue moving forward and keep my right mindset. So I enjoy it. I got a whole lot of gear. I tell you that.
Yeah. That's why that's why I've been on them. That's why I've been pumping iron, man. So when I got my J. Lou jersey on, I look swollen.
That jersey's on the way.
Wow.
Let's get it. Let's
Jay.
get it. So anything you want to add to that, Renee, before we go?
I just want to say thank you and for having the opportunity to talk to you, for having you on the show here. And I would love for the outro if you just go back to your wall and show us, show it to us for the outro.
Out.
Jay,
yeah. What all you youngsters out
Thank
there,
you.
what you got to do? Grind it out.
You gotta grind it out.
That's
COVID,
awesome,
no gym. Grind it out.
do something. You can do something.
That's
else.
You can't get in the gym. Hey, go. You can run. It's raining outside. You can do a jumping program in your living room. You can do something. Don't wait for the world to give it to you. If it means that much to you, you will find a way and grind it out. And I'll tell you this: it might not happen when you want it to, but if it does happen for you, it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna enjoy it, and the frustrations that come with it, they'll all just melt away into the satisfaction of that. You get to be frustrated about it.
Exactly. And man, before we go, man, thanks for coming on our show, man. Really appreciate you. And let me just add this for the listeners. Let's not get it twisted. He's a humble guy. You know, throughout this whole journey and everything, there's one other thing that we really got to talk about. You have to have talent. And you have to really have a pro game for someone to pay you for it. And this guy's got that talent, got a pro game, and we appreciate you, bro. Salute, my guy.
I appreciate you guys having me. You know, we at 3 corners of Germany right now. And it's good to be able to sit in the same room, have a conversation with some good minds. Joe, you've always been there when I was frustrated after practice and had a leadership question. I call you, Joe. I don't know what's going on right now. And you would share me some what works, what didn't work for you, knowing some of the mistakes that you made helped me be a better leader. So shout out to you, shout out to the friendship that we have. And I know we're gonna continue to stay in touch. That jersey's gonna be on the way. You know, look forward to the day you turn on Magenta TV and I'm out there hooping with Telecom Bond. Shout out to that organization. It's a great organization. Bond's a great city. I'm around a lot of good people, and I'm fortunate, and I enjoy it every day. Renee, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thanks. All right.
Appreciate you, bro. We're going to bring you on for part 2.
I'll tell you this. It might not happen when you want it to, but if it does happen for you, it's going to be worth it. You're going to enjoy it. And the frustrations that come with it, they'll all just melt away into the satisfaction of that. You get to be frustrated about it.